Good morning. So for this flight I wanted to use the CJ4. Last time I flew it in the previous version it was hot garbage. It was worse than the Longitude, which is hot garbage. But I wanted to do a fairly simple flight. So we're going to fly from Boston, Logan International, to Montreal, Pierre Trudeau. You can see it's fairly straightforward. We're sticking to low altitude. We're following the direct approach, so we're just going to hit the main nav points out here, and then we'll hit the ILS for runway 6 right. I know kind of the area, so I'm a little familiar with it, but I've never made this directional approach. I typically fly down the river over the Great Lake by Toronto. You can see my speed is 30, or my time frame is here is 33 minutes at the altitude selected and everything, so this should be a fairly quick and decent flight. I've got it set all default, so we're going to come up here to 10,000 feet as we fly along, and then we'll head down and ride in. So this should be kind of a quick, hectic landing from what I'm guessing. We're going to see how the autopilot handles, we're going to see how approach handles, and hopefully we don't die.
Boston Tower, United Express 1548, ready for IFR departure runway 15 right.
United Express 1548 cleared for takeoff runway 15 right.
Ew, downtown looks nasty. Downside to some of my textures. Ooh, wow, that's some choppy FPS as everything renders in. Alright, yeah, I know the parking brake's on. Shut up. Alright, so let's get this thing set up. We're going straight to 10,000 feet, so let's go ahead and bump this up to 10,000. Get rid of the yoke. I think we're ready, really. Let's get altitude hold on, vertical speed on, yaw damper on. And we are going to fly without any of that. Alright. So we are ready to go. Pop out the plane, check out my livery. United Express looks pretty good. I don't like how pixelated everything is loading in, but we are getting 22, 19, 20, 23. So the FPS is livable. Alright, let's get back inside this plane. Let's get this thing airborne. I should just need to hit autopilot and heading. Control once we get going. You can see the pink circles turning to get me there. Let's turn half bank on for the moment so we don't hard roll. You can see the pink circles balancing out. Engine run up. Thrust is good. Let's roll. Okay, plane should start to rotate here fairly soon. This is a bumpy runway. There's the nose starting to go up. We are airborne. Gear is up. I cannot see any sort of speed indicator at the moment. I need to zoom in. Okay, let's get autopilot on. There's my speed, 200. Get that down.
United Express 1548 Boston departure continue as planned. Altimeter 29 decimal 9.
Set it to 330 for the moment. There's a plane down there somewhere. There he is. Spirit Wings. Sweet. So we are rolling out. The plane's doing alright for the moment. Speed is okay. We're climbing through 267 knots, which is fine. Again, I'm going to try to ride the speed a little higher. Let's turn half bank off to get this thing over to the direction, so we're getting close to speed. I'm going to try to hold us around 300, but right now I need the speed to handle the bank so that we can get turned. Nothing negative is going on anywhere else right now. There's downtown Boston coming into view.
United Express 1548, contact Boston Center on 133.325. 133.325, United Express 1548. Boston Center, United Express 1548 is climbing through 8,400 feet for 10,000 feet. United Express 1548, Boston Center, continue as planned. Altimeter 29.92.
Alright, we're doing great. Almost at our altitude. We definitely need to turn a little bit more. We're getting there, but I'm going to have to head us more to the north. Let's head straight. Not quite straight. Let's head 350. That'll get us pretty close. We need to throttle down as we're going to hit overspeed.
United Express 1548, contact Boston departure on 133.0.
Okay, I'm seeing the rudder deflecting. It looks like this is going to have fairly similar problems to the other one. Yeah, why do they keep sending me back and forth? Pick one. Alright, so the plane's still jacked up. It flew a little better this time. I didn't seem to have quite as many issues getting off the ground and maneuvering around. My FPS right now is what's really concerning, because I'm hanging out about 9 FPS at this altitude and this distance, and there's no reason I can figure out why it would be that garbage. And the textures and everything just looks like poo right now, so whatever. Let's zip on ahead and get up to my area, and we'll see how autopilot handles navigation once we get a little closer to my actual flight path here. So we'll see you when we start coming into, let me pull the map over here. I will come back as we are heading into Fulfo, whatever it is. As we get ready to make our turn, I will slow us down and come back to chat. So we'll see you then.
United Express 1548, contact Boston Center on 133.325.
Alright, well, it's supposed to have been a 30-minute flight. I should have landed a while ago by now, because I've been recording for 50 minutes at the moment. Why has it taken so long? Well, if you haven't guessed from the epic choppiness of what you're seeing on screen, look at that render. Yeehaw. Yeah, this is an epic 1 FPS, maybe 2 to 4 FPS as we pass a ski resort here. It's been like this for quite a while. For some reason, and I've been playing with it a bit in the background, you can't necessarily see it because I'm recording just the game, but I'll call out some of the numbers. Right now, the game is using 24 gigabytes of my 32 gigs of available memory. It was up to 29 gigabytes for a little bit before Windows kind of put a kibosh on that and slowed it down. I closed out of Chrome that was using about 800 megabytes. I closed out of a whole slew of other stuff in the background to clear up about 1.5 gigs, 2 gigs of memory, and shortly after I did that, the utilization skyrocketed. Right now, the game's using 90% of my total memory, 3% of my GPU's power, 99% essentially of my GPU memory, and about 20 to 30% of my CPU's capacity. So right now, this area, for whatever reason, has a memory leak. I don't know where it is, what did it, or how it happened, but this memory leak has tanked performance. And if I go under the GPU, it's what's really suffering at the moment. My memory usage overall is up to 30. Wow, I haven't seen that ever really. So right now my computer's RAM, 32 gigs total, 31.9 gigs is currently in use, of which 26, okay, it just plummeted from 26 gigs because Task Manager's running down to 19, but either way, I'm not running anything else on the computer other than Steam, Discord, and my recording software. Everything else is just minimal hosts and other stuff. So basically my RAM is pegged, which is killing the throughput. The GPU, if I could find it here in Windows, CPU disk, GPU. So my GPU has 11 gigs of dedicated RAM, of which it looks like 10.9 is in use of my dedicated GPU memory. I have 16 gigs in shared, but it's not touching any of that right now for some reason. So yeah, 10.4 of 11 gigs utilized. So that memory issue is what's tanking my performance, primarily on the GPU right now, because my GPU's utilization is at 5-6%. So somewhere, either through an update in the game, holy cow, I can't even get to the escape menu. Look at that load in. Wow, the whole game is tanked because of this right now. I don't even know if I'll be able to get into here to look. But because the memory leak has just pegged everything, nothing is loading well properly. The game won't play because it can't seem to stream in textures. Nothing's working. I'm getting 0 to 1 FPS right now. It doesn't look like any of my settings have changed. So when we were flying in the previous video in Scotland, it flew fine. I didn't have any real issues. The plane handled perfectly overall. I had a couple issues with the autopilot and handling, but graphically the game worked well. I maintained about 20 to even 34 FPS a few times through the whole flight, but for some reason Boston in this area has caused a massive memory leak that has essentially just broken the game. So there's no point in continuing. I will not be able to land. It's going to take me another hour to get to my destination. So I hate to say it, but a lot of performance issues, I think, for a number of players. It's not just your settings, it's not just your hardware, it's another issue within the game's software that's causing massive leaks in memory that are just tanking the performance. And this explains a lot, because like flying through London. I'd done it before in the once in the London or the European update pack, but a couple of times prior I'd flown through London and performance wasn't great, but I never dipped below 10. Even flying through a rainy, cloudy day because I had realistic world weather on the first time I flew there. I flew to some tiny little airport on the French coast. It was a 20-minute flight in the TBM. I didn't record it. I was just messing around, looking around London for the first time. And I had better performance than I do now. So somewhere in this update, a number of things are totally broken with this performance situation. So hopefully they get a handle on this pretty soon, because this is garbage and unplayable. So sorry to cut that short. We did not complete the mission. I will make another attempt. Maybe I'll try to fly the other way and see if I don't have the same memory leak. But I have a feeling whatever hole in the map or wherever it is, no matter what, once I trigger it, it's going to tank it. So we'll see what happens. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully we get this thing fixed and completed, but we'll keep trying. We'll see you next time.